Hello and welcome to Process Love Candy. My name is Mark Sheard and you can find me on Instagram at Sheardo. And this here is a time-lapse demonstration of my work in Procreate. Today's piece of love candy was drawn for Candy's Lenses. Sometimes I like to work with others and do some cross-promotion for a bit of sponsorship. And this drawing is of the talented Hesbell. I hope I pronounced that right. But the pressure's on because Hesbell is not only an awesome cosplayer, but she's also a brilliant illustrator. I'll put some links down in my show notes there so you can go check them out on Instagram and see what they're all about. The character I've chosen here is Bowsette. I thought it invoked a bit of sauciness and power, but also a sense of cuteness and fun. I'm working hard on the detailed sketch here, probably putting a bit too much detail here and there, but I like to get bogged down in the details sometimes, and as I'm working digitally I can always adjust things and correct them as I go. I've worked hard as I keep going, you'll see here in the tail, trying to get these spikes right. You know, I could have just stuck with what I had, but to get a nice and clear silhouette, I didn't want them to poke out and obstruct one another, so I've reworked them again and again to get them correct. Working on the hands, trying to get that perspective right. I think the bottom hand's a little bit too big for the other, so I'll probably adjust that later. Adjusting the dimensions as I go. It may look weird when you first do that, but no one knows what your original drawing is, and then sometimes that little bit of perspective will help you recorrect the angles that you were better off going for. So there we go, I've just enlarged the bottom hand to get that correct and to scale. It's fine for the top hand to be larger because it's reaching out, but it was better to have them more to scale to one another. I'm happy with this drawing now. I think the sketch is really good. I think the silhouette's quite strong, so I'm quickly zipping through the colour up stage. With this one I'm going for a nice soft pink and warm yellows. The green I've gone for a bit more blue in that to make it a little bit more aquamarine-ish, just because I like teal and aquamarine a bit better. And I think it goes well with the black. So, fiddling around now with background elements. I've got a lot of my own handcrafted textures which I like to layer up and get different, you only need a few of them to layer up and you get a multitude of different effects. So I tend to play around with those until I get happy and find something new and unique. So I'll just pause for a moment to show off the silhouette. A lot of work goes into this, so I like to make sure I iterate it and make sure that you know how important it is to do this. So I discussed before about the tail, and you can see here in this silhouette that the spikes in the tail are very clear. They're not obstructing one another. But also if we look at this hand and the claw reaching out towards the camera, it has overlapped with the elements of the head, like with the ears and the hair a little bit, but not too much. There's clear indication between each of the fingers and the talons. I've even tried to make sure there was a teeny tiny little speck between the bicep spike and the forearm there, so you can still get a clear indication of that arm. So I'm pretty happy with that silhouette. It's clear, it's readable, it's nice, and it's a strong indication of the character. Alright, on with the show. So now I'm just doing my warm areas, adding in pink hues. I use a very soft airbrush to do all my warm areas around the cheeks and knees and elbows and fingertips. I'll add a little bit more to the cheeks than I will every other area of the character, and that way it brings out the cheeks a bit more to be a bit more rosy and flushed. Adding shadows and highlights now in the appropriate places. There are different ways to do it, thinking of different lighting techniques. I'll get into that in another drawing. Right now I'm just focusing on soft light and then moving on to my highlights. I really wanted to make sure the hair looked real shiny in this one, so I'm adding my signature squiggles across the side, and then I'll knock those back in a bit with a little bit of a soft eraser. I'm adding additional lighting in this, bounce light and reflective light from the background. I'm happy with the colours of my background, and I know I'm going for this teal aquamarine colour, so I'm adding a little bit of that to the character to cement her within the environment. Now I'm adding just more darker areas of shadow, as I wanted this to be a bit gloomier. I think it needed more darkness, and I'm really enjoying this drawing and I'm happy with it, so I tend to put more into it and keep polishing it, and I'm trying different things. I didn't want to keep this simple, so even in the areas of darkness I still add little bits of reflection and highlights. These moments aren't so realistic, yet I do them to pop them out a little bit more. Sometimes I find things get too dark and lost, so I like to add these little back highlights, as if it's a little bit of a 3-point lighting and you've got a tiny bit of backlighting just showing off a little bit of the silhouette. Not the best at this, but I'll get better as I go. You know, every drawing you do, you get better and better, so you just keep working. I'll add my little dust bunnies into the air. I love doing this. I draw them up and then knock them back. That just gives a bit of focus. Makes it look like other elements are happening and it's actually in an environment that not everything's taken care of. So I'll just sign this one now and be proud of it. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this drawing and this time-lapse demonstration. If you did, please add a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again. And if you want to chat, send me a comment and let me know what you think. This has been Sheardo, and I will see you in the dark side.